Alright, so one of the most effective ways when the fish have a case of lockjaw is to go Texas rig Senko. Now this is weightless. I have an EWG hook tied to it. This is a 3/0 hook. The water is rather murky and dirty. We just had a bunch of rain last night. So I'm using black with blue flake and 15-pound test on my medium heavy fast action tipped rod. So let's go see if we can slay a few bass using the old Texas rig Senko. Good old fashioned Senko, the stickbait. Now, obviously it's cloudy and cold, and I think these fish do have a pretty good case of lockjaw since I've been out here for a little while fishing a different technique on a different video. So just little bitty twitches. These guys seem rather finicky today, and I may have to downsize my Senko. This is only a 5-inch Senko. Got him. Come here. Oh, you threw my Senko off. Well, that wasn't very nice. Little Senko bass. I say little, he's probably 1.5 pounds. Definitely worth catching. Alright, let's let him go. Number 1 of the day. And he threw my stinking Senko. So, alright, let's let you go, buddy. Go on. He had some fight in him, too. Now, I have my little day box here full of the stuff that I intended on fishing with today. And I got my lunker log here. Now, lunker log is just simply a brand. And simply, well, Texas rigged. So obviously you got 2 ends. You got the smaller end and the bigger end. Stick it in there. Come out, and then you're going to do a half twist. If you never Texas rigged before. And then now you're going to want to make sure the hook is in line here when you do this. So we got to line it up this way. And I'm going to put my thumb where it's going to go through. And then I'm going to line my hook up where it goes right through the center of the bait as it goes right through, right above my fingernail. And this guy's perfectly in line, almost perfectly. He's not quite perfect. Well, there you go, 5-inch Senko, rigged up and ready to go. I kind of figured the lunker log was, the black and blue was going to do much better than that white I was using earlier. Even on very extremely hot days, this is a very effective method. You just gotta be patient, because I am fishing 7 foot of water where I'm at. Up there is much shallower, but you gotta be patient. Let this thing fall down, and well, when it happens, it happens. Just like that. Just like that. The second one, in pretty quick fashion. Liking the lunker log today. And today may be the lunker log type of day. 13.5. We'll let him go. Bye-bye. Still looking pretty good. The good thing about Senkos is you start wearing them down, you just bite the ends off and start up again. And he just picked it up and locked onto it. And I just set the hook into him. Y'all saw the hook set. It was a good one. You gotta be careful after you start catching fish like that. You end up speeding up, and maybe that's not the tactic. Because both of mine that I caught, both were when the lunker log was sitting still, or me letting it sit still. So you gotta be careful. Make sure you slow down when that time arises. That way you can guarantee that you're still on your same pattern And yeah, you might be able to fish really aggressively and still catch some. So a couple learnings so far today is they hadn't been really right up on the bank. They've been a little further out. I'm not saying 10 feet maybe at most. And they've been liking the lunker log. Soft twitches. Extremely soft twitches. A little bit of grass. Just working it through it real slow. You know, getting the feel of the grass. That's something important that people may not understand, is understanding when you have a bite and when you don't. When you don't, that's probably a key area that you should be fishing really, really heavily instead of doing a hook set. Now the bites I've been getting today have actually been pretty aggressive on this lunker log. So it's kind of amazing how when you fish a fluke and a Senko, they're similar techniques, but totally different actions. The Senko is just barely going to twitch on the bottom, where the flute is just going to dart, even with the same amount of twitch. It's kind of unique to think about, because I was just fishing a fluke just a little bit ago, and this lunker log has definitely had more strikes than the fluke did the entire time. And I've only been fishing this lunker log for 30 minutes. Let's do the Senko on this dam. I think we'll have some pretty good success on the dam. We had some success on that bank. I think I fished it twice too fast. So we're gonna slow it down and fish on over here. So a couple things also to note when fishing very finessey like this is whatever you're fishing, you really want to stay away from and use your trolling motor as least as possible. Mainly because you don't want to spook those fish, because they're already in a iffy kind of mood. So I'm trying to stay pretty far from where I'm targeting in hopes of having some success catching some of these bass out of the grass here. I think we're going to switch to a 4-inch lunker log. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. We're going to see if a smaller size will trigger more bites. The old 4-inch watermelon red flake. Hopefully the color is good. It's going to be a little stiffer from what I can tell. Maybe that's temperature related. The water is warmer than the air. Got him. Got him that time. Come here. All right. I think these are the guys that are nipping at it. But I got that one. All right, got us a little guy. He looks pretty healthy, so let's let him go. I thought there was a couple more in there, so we're gonna halt it for a second. Either one fish hit it twice, or there's multiple fish here. Which, honestly, looking at the live scope here, looks like there's multiple fish here. Got him. Come here. All right. You're all good now. Another little bitty guy. This is probably the guys that were just nipping it until I downsized later on. So these are probably the little bitty guys that are just kind of being a little bit of annoying, but I finally downsized enough to get them on the hook. If you ever get a day and you're just wondering whether or not you should go fishing or not, and you're just, man, the weather may not be the best, prepare for it. Still go. You still can have a good time out here. And worst case is you just take the boat for a ride, or you just take the truck for a ride and you don't really actually get to go fishing. Doesn't hurt to sit out at the lake for a few hours and not do much. Waiting on the weather to pass. I mean, if the weather gets bad here, I'm going to motor up there and I'm going to sit in the truck for a little while. So just remember, don't use the weather as an excuse on fishing. There's always going to be a technique that in an area that you may have not have explored before. And you may not catch any fish that day. I'm sorry to tell you guys that, but you may not catch any fish. But you can at least learn something about your lake and use that the next time you're out on the water. So today I'm learning apparently those little bitty bites, you got to downsize to get them. And hey, it's working. All right, guys, so on a crummy day like today, still was able to come out here, catch some bass using the Weightless Senko. You know, the air temp was kind of mediocre at best. No sun to warm up the water to bring up the fish activity. So I had to bring my bait activity down to what the fish were doing. And hey, we had a pretty dang good day. And just to show you guys real quick, I've been the only one at the lake all day. So, hey, I had the whole lake to myself, which is a huge bonus. So remember, when the days are pretty crappy, you're going to get the lake to yourself. Maybe one or two other people, people like me. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about fishing some weightless Senkos today and how effective they can be. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave this video a like, and if you have any tips about, the way I was fishing today, hey, I'll take any help I can get. So let me know in the comments below. But you guys remember, just like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.